Good afternoon, Kirk Capra here with your recap for this afternoon, Friday, July 14th. Hope you guys had a great trading day and certainly had a market which was in a positive mindset, even despite the the negative reaction to the earnings coming from JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup. JP Morgan, as we mentioned at the morning call, came out beating expectations, but the reaction here still had it gapping down. We'll take a look at that in a moment, but ultimately the S&P, as you can see here, added to the gains of this week, actually pushing through the prior highs, closing above them. So really impressive move here that we've gotten at this point. As I said this morning, I would have rathered, to be honest with you, see it pause. I would have much rathered see just a consolidation here to set up for follow through here next week. I think that given today's action, things are more likely set up for a bit of a pause, maybe even pull back the beginning part of next week, although we do start to get into some more earnings. You got Netflix coming out on Monday. So there can definitely be a bit of help from those earnings reports. But as I said, I think that with today's action, we're more likely going to see a pause. However, you still have to play what you see. Go with the trend and don't try and fight it. Don't try and come in with a bias that you get married to and cannot change from. So with that, we look at the S&P here on the 15-minute. It opened strong, was consolidating, not wanting to drop throughout most of the morning into the afternoon, and then you got the breakout here around 12:30, and from that point on it was just higher. And so, as I said, you have to be willing to adjust as the environment dictates. That is vital to your success as a trader. All right, looking at the Qs, they were also able to push up, not as much, but they already had been pushing up throughout the day, so they added to those gains, took out the main part of the resistance, and they also are set up for what I think is going to be a bit of a pause or pullback here to start things off. But again, it's going to hinge on earnings. As I said, Netflix has earnings. Netflix was up here once again today after yesterday's week close, but we were able to muscle through it, took out this prior high. And so at this point, it seems as though Netflix, maybe not in this coming week, but I mean, of course, with earnings, anything is possible. But we're definitely headed back up to this prior high. And, before I move on to the next thing, I just want to point out real quick the fact that this pullback, while it may have looked bearish from a daily chart perspective, take a look at the weekly here. Right? Is this a bearish pullback? No. If anything, it's a pullback right into support, right? The prior breakout area. That's a prime opportunity to be looking to get long. So it is extremely important that you look at these larger time frames. It'll help guide your bias and keep you on the right side. All right, so Netflix, as I said, is working higher. It looks like it's going to come up to test the prior highs and should even be able to move through it. All right, now as I mentioned, financials. They were weak here today, but it feels like today's action was a bit of a shake the tree kind of thing, get some weak hands out before then pushing higher. Because as you can see, JP Morgan gapped down and then it was just bought up all day. Nice bullish close against where we opened. Still closed below where it closed yesterday, but very positive action here today in JP Morgan. Should see that one continuing higher next week. Same thing with Wells Fargo. Gap down, but was bought up all day. And Citigroup, right? Also weak, but surging higher throughout the day. So all of these still look higher even after the gap down. It was just, as I said, I think a shaking the tree type of move before continuing on up. So, hope everybody had a great day. As we take a look here at Apple real quick, this one looks like it could continue higher. Also looks pretty good. So, I mean, in general, things are looking higher, but we may see a brief pause to start the week, although we do get into earnings season, so we'll have to see how that begins to impact everything as well. So, as I said, hope you guys had a great trading week. We'll see how things are setting up as we come into Monday, as far as what's happening overseas, as far as earnings, and any news stories that develop over the weekend. So, have a great weekend, and we'll be back with you on Monday.